Before we dive into our rad new ep, we want to acknowledge the traditional owners on the land on which we record, the Wurundjeri people. We pay our respects to elders past and present and to the ongoing living culture of Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people. What's up and welcome to the Girls Gotta Work podcast. I'm Hayleigh and I'm a recovering awkward person.
And I'm Jordan and I'm a total hot mess.
And we're living proof that you can be a chaotic 20-something and still be a successful business owner. So go grab a coffee, relax into your comfiest chair and join us as we share the rad, the bad and the mad reality of running a business. What's up, guys? What's up, Jordan?
Hello. Long time no see. It's been like a full 2 weeks.
I know. It is actually, because normally we talk every day.
I know. And the last 2 weeks have been, just chaos. Like we've both had so much on in our own businesses. Yeah, it's been like treading water, trying to keep our heads up. And yeah, so it's actually nice to catch up. And yeah it's been a while.
So I actually don't know what's been going on.
Yeah, as I said, so much has been going on. I have a business thing and then a bit of a lull of a personal thing. So we'll start with the business because, that's less fun. So I am doing a membership next year.
So exciting.
I am so excited. So I actually announced it on the Instagrams this week. And
can't take it back now.
No, I can't take it back, which is terrifying because not that I'm not prepared, but like so much goes into a membership. And every time I'm like, cool, I'm working through my to-do list. I'm like, there's like 10 other things that have just popped up that I didn't have on my to-do list that I now need to add onto my to-do list. So one of those things is like T's and C's for a membership because you need T's and C's and things like you didn't even think of. And so like I'm not sure if you have used Found Legal. They do like contract templates. Yeah. They're amazing. I use them for my service, like retainer service agreements and all of that. Yeah. So yeah, they've got one. So it's just a case of like, all right, so I need to invest in that. But I'm also investing in new photos. I just got my branding done. When am I going to break it up? When am I going to do all the things? I need to write landing pages, set up emailing lists, promote it, beta test it. And it's fucking the end of October and I'm taking January off and December I'm away and I'm launching in February. So no time to do anything.
Which is why so much time.
No. Not for me, who loves kind of working, 30, 35 hours a week, going to the beach, chilling out. But no, it's been really good. It's been a huge learning curve, but I'm just really excited because as I think I've mentioned on the pod before, I'm at capacity and I'm usually booked out 4 months in advance, which is amazing. Wow. But it also means the flip side, I can't help as many business owners as I would like. Yes. And I get so many leads every week being like, hey, I need help with this. And this membership is really going to fill that gap so that if people want my help one-on-one, they can, but they can sort of come here in the meantime and like still learn things and still improve their socials and then work with me one-on-one later, or just come straight here and then just have the lower cost offer. So I'm really excited. I think it's going to be great. Lots going on. Stay tuned for that.
It's super exciting. When you were originally telling me about your idea, I was like, this just makes sense. This makes sense for you. This makes sense for your business. This makes sense for the direction. I was like, you're going to be amazing. So yes, we have to figure out the T's and C's, but apart from that, everything else will be great, I'm sure.
Apart from the legal official stuff. Who needs it?
If you know us by now, we wing a lot of things, but we figure it out.
Yeah, exactly. It's like my number one business advice is just get started and figure it out as you go because
definitely.
That's just how it works. But so not more exciting, but I'm really excited about it. I literally woke up this morning knowing that we were going to record and I was like, I was doing something that I'm about to explain. And then I was like, oh, fuck, this is going to be so funny to include. I'm building it up a lot. It's probably not as funny. Anyway, let's get into it.
I'm so excited.
So it's Halloween this weekend and I am so excited. So Halloween is never something I've celebrated and because my parents are always like, it's an American tradition. What? You shouldn't expect people in Australia to like have lollies and stuff for you when you're trick-or-treating. So so I never sort of got to do the Halloween stuff. Still, like, I'm not like a scary movie person. It's not my favorite holiday, but I'm going to a costume party.
Ooh.
I quite like costume parties.
I love a costume party.
I am so excited. So I am going as out of shape Thor. I'm not sure.
Why?
Okay, so have you seen the latest Thor movie?
I haven't seen the latest and I'm kind of like a big Marvel fan, but I know that like what he looks like when he's out of shape.
So it's
and he's like kind of depressed depressor.
Yeah. So like hoodie, I'm gonna like get a pillow like under my belly. Anyway, so I've got the full kit. It looks amazing. I just need a fake blonde beard. So if anyone has one, please hit me up or tell me where to go. But anyway, I was like, I'm gonna DIY a hammer. Okay. So a couple of weeks ago, I was DIYing the gardening. So we're going from girls got a garden to just girls got a DIY on the whole. Because that makes sense. Yeah, I feel like it. So this morning I was painting the hammer outside and I'm not good at it, but I was like, and I was having so much fun. And I was like, this is the most random thing I've done in a while. I'm going to tell the listeners. I'm going to tell you. Yeah. And you can just marvel in what will now be known as Girls Got a DIY.
I mean, as soon as this is finished, we need to be posting on our stories or somewhere on the internet a picture of you. Yes, I'm out of shape. Thor.
I will. Well, I think my hammer's nearly done. Yeah. So we can definitely post a photo of like the in progress hammer on this afternoon on our socials. But the party is on Saturday. Yeah. So I can take a photo of the full. Yes, we need thing.
This full conceptualized idea in the flesh. We need proof.
My God, I hope it works. But anyway, I'm not sure if that was as funny as I thought it was, but I had a really good time telling it. So anyway, Hayleigh, tell me, how was your week? Personal, business? Let's move on from my hot mess of an anecdote.
I mean, I have nothing that exciting.
Yes, because Out of Shape Thor is super exciting.
Where it's at. Oh, shit.
Really gets me going.
Stupid. How has my 2 weeks been? Really good. I ticked a big thing off my goals, off my, I don't know, vision board.
Oh my God, tell us everything.
If that's what you call it, was to run a kind of introverted related masterclass.
Oh my God, that's amazing.
I know. So it's the first time I've ever done a masterclass, because when I first started in business, I was like, what would people want to know about? Like, I really was
in your own head about it.
Yeah, maybe. Like, not really, like, what is it? Like when you have your blinkers on? Oh, what is it? Like that?
The blinders?
The blinders, yeah. Like, I couldn't see outside of what else I have to offer. Like, as a VA, I was like, what would a masterclass look like from Hayleigh Helper? But I was
like, what value would people actually get? Like, what do you have to share?
And then I was like, oh, I have the answers. I am the answers. So after I wrote my ebook, How to Be Social and Social as an Introvert, I was like, this is the answer. That's the answer. So yeah, I got to do it on that, and it was such a fun experience, and I fumbled my way through it, but I got to be myself. And I think when it's really something close to you that you're teaching, I got to be myself in that, and it was really reciprocated. So that was like such a big milestone. And like, I look at my little like vision board, I was like, tick, I did that. Like,
oh yay. It's always the best feeling too, when you like, especially when you do have those blinders on at the start, being like, this is never something that's going to work for me. Yeah. I'm never going to sort of get to that point. And then you still put it on your vision board because you're like, maybe one day something will come up, and then it does, and you do it. Oh, it's the best. That's so good.
So that was my big business thing for the last 2 weeks. Personal, I just like trudging along. I'm just making up words today. It's probably right. But I have been getting really bad headaches. So girls got to work are now nurses, doctors. I don't know.
Girls got an optometrist.
Yeah. So the reason I have headaches is because I need new glasses. Woo! I love getting old. It's the best. No.
I love having rapidly deteriorating eyesight.
So I found out during the last couple of weeks that both my eyes need different prescriptions. So love that for me.
That's so annoying.
Like the dumbest thing. Like,
but it kind of makes it doesn't make sense.
Because it's not like one eye is blind, like, you know, they're both short-sighted and one of them's just a little worse. One is short-sighted and one is long-sighted.
Oh
yes, guys.
No,
this is what I'm talking about.
Okay, that's dumb. That's dumb. That makes no sense.
I know. Yeah, so one is like short-sighted and one is long-sighted. Like, what the fuck, guys?
That's crazy.
So I need a new prescription to like level out the focus so I can fucking see things.
Yeah, right. That's wild.
I know. That's my 2 weeks.
That's your 2 weeks.
Not as fun as painting a hammer, but I'll be able to see soon.
I think I would definitely take 2020-ish vision over a hammer made out of a 10-pack of CC box.
But like, this is definitely now girls got an optometrist, because they were explaining to me like 2020 vision. I can still see 2020 vision. It's just a little blurry. Like, it's just a little blurry. Like, you can still like, what allows you to drive is fucking ridiculous. Like, I was like, I can
in terms of like the standard.
Yes. So I can see 2020 vision. I'll like see as far as you need, where their class shows 2020 vision. But in my glass, when I have my new prescription, I can then see better than 2020 vision. So there's bitches all out here with 2020 vision. I also have 2020 vision. Mine's just a little bit blurrier than yours. That's like, fascinating. Anyway,
it also makes no sense.
I know, but our tip for the week is go get your eyes checked. Even if you think you can see, go get them checked.
Yeah, I'm not going to go on another tangent because I also got my eyes tested, and I'm not even going to go because I feel like we've already been talking for like 20 minutes and have not even gotten into our topic. So do we want to get into our topic for today? We are talking about niching. I believe I did not prep this episode. All right, shall we get into it?
Let's do it. So recently, guys, we had an episode where we kind of talked about multi-passionate entrepreneurs and business in general. And our podcast is obviously about talking about the things and doing business your way.
Yes.
And after that episode, we had a lot of feedback about that multi-passionateness and niching in your business. And we're like, well, let's talk about it. Let's unpack it.
Let's talk about it.
Because I think, and not that we have both talked about it together, I think we have very different views to the outer community. I feel like we are kind of on the same page about how we feel about niching.
I think so. But again, we haven't like fleshed it out really. We've sort of like touched on it and then been like, let's talk about anything else.
So we're going to dive into our thoughts on niching and kind of see where this goes.
As usual, we are winging it. So let's start winging it.
I put top points, so it's kind of
God, look at you. So profesh. I don't. So let's do this. Let's do it.
Do you think in your business, Scrunch Social, that you have niched? What's your kind of definition of it in your business sense? And then we'll go outer into like niching in general.
All right. So for Scrunch, I don't think I would consider that I have a niche. So there's a few. So a lot of people are like, you've got to like, the more specific your niche, like the better your business and all of that. And I do get that, right? I understand that like the more specific your audience is, the easier it is to talk to them one-on-one, the easier it is to make them feel sort of seen, heard, valued, to connect with them. I get that. I get the logistics of niching, right? However, one thing that I've really struggled with niching is that I don't have one set demo that I want to work with or that I can work with. Like I'm a social media strategist. I can work with literally anyone.
Well, yeah.
I can work with any business. And for me, one thing I love about what I do is I get to work with so many like vast different arrays of businesses, because otherwise I get bored. Like the reason I work in social is because I get bored super quickly. So as much as the platform updates and all of that annoy the crap out of me, I love that because it challenges me and it keeps me on my toes. That's what I love about working with clients across different industries as well, which is also across different niches. So for me, niching feels really limiting because I love working with people who love what they do.
Yeah.
That's what I would consider it's not a niche, but like
overarching.
My overarching like client requirement is that you give a shit about what you do and that you're passionate about it. I could talk to anyone about anything and I could market anything that you're passionate about, because if you can convince me that it's a good idea, you're passionate enough about it for me to be able to sell it.
Yeah.
Which is what I love about working with passionate people.
Yeah.
But all of the like professional people who talk about niching, that's not a niche.
But that's like super specific to you, because like, you know, I love you, but you're just so smart. Like,
oh my God, keep it coming.
I think about how I think and process work and stuff like that. You do have this really like specific skill that I haven't really come across before, that has the ability to turn someone's passion into their passion and then I don't know, it's like their passion comes out your fingers and you type and create something that's amazing. Whereas like for me, oh, you're so welcome. Like for me, I could not do that. Like even though we're going to talk about my business in a sec, but I haven't niched down, but I don't think I could adapt to any industry. Like I think you definitely can.
And I think that's the thing. It comes down to each person. So I think if I were to scale and hire people, it would become more necessary for me to niche because the people I employ might not necessarily have the kind of brain that I have. Because like my brain, it works really quickly. It is really easily adaptable and like it molds to each business really, really easily. Yeah. And I feel like that's why I always, like I have a visceral reaction where everyone's like, you have to niche. I'm like, no, fuck off. I don't want to. Because it makes me feel like I'm in a box and that I can't like if I'm put in a box, I'm going to do everything except stay in that box.
Yeah.
And that's going to be detrimental to my business. So for me, it's like, I don't think it's beneficial. But if I were to scale and have a team, I agree. Like, I think not everyone can do what I do because it is just how my brain works.
Yeah.
And therefore a niche might be relevant. I don't know. What do you think? Tell me about you and Hayleigh and niching.
Yeah.
Because you do have helpers now.
Yes. So I feel similar in the fact that I don't have a very specific niche. I've seen like VAs niche down to do things like just working with photographers or just working with mums in business. Like their thing is like helping mums in business or tradies, or like they've niched it down to an industry.
Yeah.
And I don't have that. My like overarching theme would be just women in business.
Yeah.
And as a VA, I kind of go from like small to medium because I think larger businesses and corporations would just employ someone. So I don't really see that for Hayleigh Helper.
Yeah.
But I have like 3 topics or 3 areas that I suppose is niche down to, which is like graphic design, general VA administration, like and social media content creation-y stuff.
Yeah.
But my helpers, I got really clear on my vision and my why, which allowed me to find stuff that resonate with that. And like the helpers that I do have, they don't have all the skills that I have, and they don't have like, they might not be good at graphic design, but they're really good at like admin, or they're good at graphics, but not good at admin. So like I've kind of picked people who are still good at those kind of things, but not necessarily all 3 like I am, because they're my passions. But yeah, I wouldn't say that I've like completely niched down in what is a typical niche.
Yeah. I would agree with that. I think even when we started working together, for new listeners to the podcast, Hayleigh is my VA and I work on her social. Yeah. So it's a whole lot of business incest here. But when we started, I remember you had on your Insta VA for e-commerce businesses. And I looked at that, and obviously because we were sort of becoming good friends at the time, I just DM'd you and I was like, hey, I sort of, I've noticed that you only really do e-com. Would you be willing to sort of make an exception? Something along those lines. And it was interesting because you were like, oh yeah, of course, like 100%. Like there was no question that you wouldn't not work with business owners outside the e-com space.
Yeah.
And I think like that for me is one thing I've really steered clear of, because if you were like 110% only working with e-com, that's great and like absolutely great to have a niche. But I think if you're open to working with other types of business owners, niching can potentially be dangerous because it can stop you from even figuring out what your niche wants to be in the future, if that makes sense.
Yeah. And it's funny that you mentioned that, because when I first started as a VA, I was like, I have to niche down. I have to do this. And I was like, had that in my brain. So that's why
everyone tells you to niche.
Yeah. And that's why I was like focused on e-com businesses, because that was kind of my background in like sales support and admin and like e-com.
That's what you knew.
Realm. That's what I knew. And then as soon as I opened those like doors to other women's businesses, all the right people have come to me, and they're like, I've got a mix of e-com and service-based businesses. So yeah, as soon as I took that away and stopped trying to label myself, I felt better and I found the right clients, and they are all different.
Yeah. And do you think, I suppose that, I don't want to say there's a danger of niching, because I do think there's so much power in niching as well. But I think when you're, I suppose, still figuring it out.
Yeah.
Like, do you think there's a point where you have to niche? Like, potentially, like, because as I said at the top of this episode, like, I'm at capacity, I'm booked out for like 4 or 5 months in advance.
Yeah.
Do you think like that's the time when you niche so that you can be super specific on who you want to work with? I think I'm a different case because of just how my brain works. But in business, is that when you niche? Do you think it's powerful to niche from the start? Do you think, or is it more of a case of niche if you want to, but don't ever feel pressured to niche? Like, what do you think of that? Do you think there's a time where that comes where you absolutely should niche, but when you're starting your business, maybe you should just see what happens, see what you like, and then go from there?
Like a mix of both those answers. A good friend commented on something I posted earlier in the week, and she said the best advice she was ever given is to niche down based on mindset and goals and not industry or service.
Oh, can you unpack that a bit?
So niche down on mindset and goals. So I think as soon as I read that, I was like, what? Like, that just makes sense. But then listening to you, like, your thing is like mindset. People who are obsessed with their businesses, that's their mindset, and their goals are to promote their social media or like really dive
to grow their business through social media. Yeah.
I was like, that's that, and not your industry or service. I was like, wow.
And I think that just puts a completely different spin on niching, because we've all been told your niche needs to cover demo, it needs to cover industry, it needs to cover all of this stuff.
Yeah.
As opposed to mindset and what was the other thing you said? Mindset and
goals.
Yeah. Mindset and goals. That just makes sense to me. And I think because like every business owner is totally different, and a one size fits all approach. I don't think one size fits all. I think there needs to be multiple approaches, and that resonates so much with me as well.
Yeah. I mean, guys, I know we're kind of bashing on niching. It's still necessary to some extent. And just like Jordan has just said, that you need to do what works best for you and your business. And
100%.
Sometimes I think with like how my brain works, which is like that decision fatigue side, I do wonder if I was more specific with who I worked with, would I get less decision fatigue because I would know what to expect. I would know what's coming. So I do wonder, like, I don't know, I'm a bit of a unicorn like that. I have decision fatigue by humongous dreams. So I can't like listen to, I mean, decision fatigue stops me in my tracks some days, but I don't let it stop me from dreaming like big things. So I don't know. But I do have some examples of how like niching can be super beneficial.
Oh, and there are so many examples. Like, I think we've both got, like, we definitely know of people who've niched and it's been amazing for their businesses. I think, as you said at the start of this episode as well, it's not right for both of us now, which is why we potentially have a bit of a different idea. But come speak to us in 12 months. We might revisit this in 12 months and we might be singing a different tune. But to your examples.
Yes. So I was listening to a podcast, as I do.
Of course. What's new?
And they were talking about this guy in WA who is in kind of like the tech / finance world.
Yes. I know what you're talking about.
Do you?
Yeah.
So he has a podcast. So he's niched down his podcast and talks about his like that techie finance realm.
Very niche, very
specific. Like he's kind of now the go-to. He has one podcast. He does one episode once a month. He's got like 50 to 60 listeners and like makes his whole year's revenue, which is like, I think I wrote down like 25K a month or something like that. Or it's probably like 250K a month or something like that.
Oh my God.
Because he's niched down so specific that he is like the thought leader in that realm, in that area.
Yeah.
And only needs 60 listeners to make the money that he needs. So it's like, if there is something like that that you love so much and makes sense to you and there is a need for that, by all means, like niche down.
Yeah. Oh, I love that. And I think as well, it comes down to what I always preach to my clients is everyone falls into the trap of I need more followers, I need more followers, I need more followers. And it's like, but you need the right followers.
Yeah.
Because if you have the right followers, and yes, these followers may or may not fall into your niche, right? But if you're niching, the right followers will be in your niche. Who cares if you've, as you said, only got 60 listeners?
Yeah.
If that makes your business, like if that gives you all the revenue that you need, if that makes you successful, like you don't need to focus on vanity metrics because it's all about the impact of your content on those few people that are specific to your niche that work and like build your business and make your business what it is. Like that's so powerful.
Yeah, I definitely, since we decided on this topic for this episode, I've kind of like flip-flopped a little. Like I think for myself and my business, this is as far niched as I will get. And like you said, it could be just for now. In 6 months time, 6 years time, we could be talking a very different way. But after doing like research and listening to other businesses and seeing how they have niche down, I'm like, okay, so I've been a bit rude to niching. Like, I get it.
We're sorry, niche. We're sorry, niching. We didn't mean to hurt your feelings. We just felt attacked and we just thought you were useless. Sorry.
Niching comes with that like unique selling point. And I think all the gurus tell you this as well. You need your unique selling point. And I think as service-based businesses, you definitely do. But I always believe that you are your unique selling point. And
totally.
That's why people will gravitate towards you, because there's like billions of VAs, there's millions of social media managers, there's millions of accountants and millions of bookkeepers. Like, why are you going to that specific bookkeeper? Is it their niche or is it them? So I kind of see that hand in hand. But then product-based businesses, there is probably areas where you do definitely need to niche down. And I saw this company that sells candles, and you're like, candles? You can get candles everywhere.
Yeah.
She specifically makes candles that smell like horses and like the outdoors, and it's for like equestrian lovers because they love horses and love all the smells there. I mean, I can't think of a nice smell there, but I don't go horse riding on the weekend. So
I'm terrified of horses.
So she's made her candles specifically for a niche of horse lovers. And like, I mean, I don't know what her revenue is like. She's not doing $1 kajillion, but like she's doing enough, and that makes her happy. And her business is like thriving in the area it needs to thrive in. So
I think that's a really good point, actually, that product businesses probably need to niche far more than service businesses. Like a lot of the people that I've spoken to, and we'll get to our community input a bit later, but a lot of the business owners I've spoken to are in service-based businesses, and they have said that there's huge power in niching for that as well. But I think less so, because as you said, like there are a million VAs out there are a million social media strategists, and we all do mostly the same things. Like I know VA is probably a bit more broad than social media is in terms of the vast, like the skill set that everyone offers. But for the most part, it is like you are your USP. You are what invites people in. Like people like working with me because I'm pretty cash. Like I'm not super profesh in how I run. I'm pretty casual to talk to. I'm happy to bounce ideas. I'm not super polished, and I'm not going to make it hard. Like I'm going to make it as easy as possible. And that's why people come to me. So I suppose that is my USP, but that all comes from who I am as a person and how I like to run my business. Whereas there are other social media managers who are that super slick, profesh, like, monthly in-person meetings with blazers. I don't know a fucking blazer. I literally asked you to borrow a blazer the other day. Like, I think you're right in that service-based businesses, it's a lot more about who you are and the kinds of people you attract. Product businesses, though, like, as you said, like if you make just candles, anyone can make just candles. Like what sets you apart, I do think it is your niche that sets you apart. I still think it's like your niche and you, because I would buy a candle from someone who's like telling their story about the candles over like someone else who has like the same sense or the same like style aesthetic. But it's like, is the answer that we are our niche? Like our person is our niche? I don't know. That doesn't sound right, but maybe. I don't know. I think it is just that both of us are coming around to the idea of niching the more we talk about it. God damn it. We've actually to happen. No, we were meant to talk everyone out of niching, start a revolt against the business world, and make sure that everyone listen to us and us only.
World domination.
World domination. That's what we're here.
So I think I've got a bit of some like tough love right now, and I don't normally I normally keep these opinions to myself, but that's why we have a podcast. That's why we have a podcast.
Hot takes with Hayleigh.
Do you think people get in the loop where they think they're multi-passionate or or aren't able to niche down as a way to stop them from progressing with their business.
Ooh.
Like it's a bit harsh, like if you want to say yes, like, but it's also a bit of tough love. Like business is also hard. Like you have to make these hard decisions, but are you multi-passionate or are you just stopping yourself from moving forward with your business because you can't air quote pick a niche?
I think that's a fantastic question. For me, I don't think that's the case because, as I said, just how my brain works. But I think that'll be the case for a lot of people. And it all comes back to self-sabotage. Like, so like the self-sabotage imposter syndrome circle of fucking doom is like, you don't feel good enough. Therefore, you self-sabotage so that you don't progress to the next level. Because as you said a couple of weeks ago, like every level there's a new devil. Like, so if you progress to the next level, you have to do the whole circle again. You have to face your limiting beliefs. You have to conquer your imposter syndrome. And then you have to like level up and then you have to keep going. And like the more you do that, the harder it is. And then, that's fucking terrifying for people who don't know what that looks like or want the control of that. So I feel like as soon as people, I think niching is a really easy out for a lot of people to be like, I just don't know what my niche is.
Like, I have too many. Where do I start? I just won't start. Yeah,
exactly. But I also think the flip side to that. So I think there's a group of people who do self-sabotage because they just don't, they're scared and they don't know what it looks like. And that is so fucking valid. Like so valid. But there's also business owners. And I think I yo-yo a lot, but like I mostly fall into this category, which is I don't want to scale my business particularly more. Like I'm so excited about my membership because that's infinitely scalable. I can have so many people and support so many people, but I don't want to scale in the traditional sense of like have employees and like take on a bucket load more clients, like make like 20 billion times what I'm making now. Like, I mean, more money, less work is always the dream, right? But like for me, I don't think it's a self-sabotage thing. It's that's not what I want my business to look like.
Yeah.
Therefore, sure, niching could be really powerful for me and my business potentially, but I'm already at capacity. Like I can't take on more clients unless I want to scale. So if I niched and it worked and it does all the amazing, crazy things that niche experts say it will, which is like scale my business infinitely and make me a millionaire, I can't take on that. I can't take on that work. So unless I do want to go to the next level. So for me, it's not a self-sabotage. It's me thinking out, how do I want my business to look? That's not how I want my business to look. So therefore is niching useless? Potentially.
You just said something that made me think I'm kind of back on. I'm back
on edge in niching.
A little bit like what you just said. If you were to niche down to specific, I don't know, let's say you only do content for fishermen, just because this is where my brain went.
Can we go anyone but fishermen? I fucking hate fishing. Could you gardeners? Because I'm on a bit of a gardening track. Okay. Or artists, because I'm painting. Let's do artists, because I'm painting this week.
No, I'm going to go gardeners.
All right, as long as it's not fishers, I can do it.
Like if you were to niche down and only help people who do gardening for a work as like you just did gardeners social media.
Yeah.
You also like if the answer to niching is that you'll be able to scale your business, you still wouldn't be able to scale your business if you were just helping gardeners.
In what way?
Because you would, again, like if your vision of your business is to not like hire a team, you would be at the exact same place you are now, but you would just have gardeners as your clients.
Yeah, which is boring as shit. Like I don't want to do that.
Yeah, like so we're busting that myth, guys. Just because you niche down does not mean your business is going to make a cajillion dollars. It's how you want to structure your business is also going to help you make money, make the right amount, make heaps of money, make whatever you need to make. But like niching is not the answer to solve all the problems of why you might not be making lots of money or why or how and why you could make lots of money.
Yeah. And I think it all does come down to intention because for me, I don't want to hire a team. I don't want to scale. I am at capacity and I refuse to work longer hours because I want to have a life. So I can't expand my capacity. So for me, that is like niching is not going to help at all. But I suppose if you have a different set of goals, if you want to hire a team, if you do want to scale in that way, then niching could be really powerful.
Yeah.
Because you're not going to have that same sort of roadblock. You're not going to have that, okay, I have limited capacity. the difference is whether I have 100% gardeners in my portfolio or like a really cool, nice mix of refreshing creative businesses.
Yeah.
That I just think it's a different story depending on what your intention is. So I think if your intention is to scale and do all the big, amazing business things that all the business coaches say that you can do, then fuck yeah, niche, give it a crack. Like I'm all for seeing what it can do for you. And I know it's done amazing things for businesses who are looking to scale.
Yeah.
Not looking to scale. I'm not sure it's necessary. Not that it's not worthwhile.
Yeah.
I'm just not sure it's as necessary.
Yeah.
I think that's where I've landed. I think that's my thought.
Yeah. I think, definitely the takeaway is like have a go. And if you have found an area that feels right in your soul and for your business, also don't let it scare you from getting there.
Yeah.
Like if
100%.
you have something that's like this tech finance guy and that's the area you want to get into, but you don't know how, you have to put your foot in the door somewhere to then start creating those connections to get further and further into how specific or non-specific you want to get. So don't be afraid. Just try it.
Start somewhere. Just give it a crack. See how it goes.
Yeah.
Niche. Don't niche. Do whatever the fuck you want. It's your business.
I mean, I feel like, we are pro niche and also pro do it your way.
I feel like Girls Go to Work is pro do it your way. Like whatever that looks like. If niching is your thing, fucking go for it and we will be cheering you on. Yeah. If you do not want to niche and it's the last thing you want to do, as long as it's not for self-sabotage reasons, go for it. Do you. We don't care. We will support you. We will cheer you on. Do whatever the fuck you want. We love you. That's it. End of episode.
I mean, that's like a perfect place to stop, I think, and then go on to see what like some of our listeners have said about niching and how they feel about it, because
totally,
you're not just here for our opinions. I'm sure you want to know what other people think.
I don't know. We're pretty fucking smart. All right, let's see what our community have to say.
If we had promos, put that in the promo. The amazing Michelle from Aussie Biz Chick has given us some thoughts.
Oh, we love Michelle.
So she has said that the benefit to niching in her eyes is really being able to speak to the customer's problems and needs and wants, which I definitely agree with. She has said she thinks there's two ways to go about it, if like how important it is. So she definitely is kind of like on our side with yay or nay, like you do you. She said you can niche down at the start, then expand later and branch out. She said, I have just brought out a book journal and selling that out for female entrepreneurs readers. So that's a niche for her. But like her overarching business is like the business subscription box.
Yes.
She said, I think either way, establish an audience with a core problem and sell to them is the way to go. It's hard these days competing with likes of Amazon and Kmart who have mass audience appeal.
Yeah.
But even then they started off small. I mean, Amazon was just a book selling business when it started. I'm sure Kmart also sold less. Yeah. So that's really like, that's really specific to product-based businesses, but I definitely agree wholeheartedly with that.
And then also different products and services potentially require different, I want to say audiences and not necessarily niches, but that, you can have multiple products and services under your banner that have different audiences. Like even with my membership, I have a different audience to what my full service, like ideal client avatar is going to be.
Yeah.
And I've really separated those out because I have a different service offering. So I really like that point in that you can potentially niche down in one area of your business, but you don't necessarily have to do it for both, or you can do it for both, but you can do different niches for both. Like it really is up to you.
Yeah. Yeah, I definitely
love it. All right, well, I've got one if you want to hear from me. Well, actually hearing from Michelle from Show and Tell. So Michelle has said, I've been niching slowly. These days I'm slowly niching towards women in business over 40, and my last campaign specifically focused on women in business over 40 who want to make videos but don't want to dance and point. What a niche.
Yeah.
Interestingly, 4 people who joined my course specifically said the phrase, I don't want to dance and point. So I've really seen the power of getting really specific in a niche. See, I love that. And I love that it's really hitting hard on those pain points and those values of that audience. Like, you know your audience so well. And I think potentially the whole, I don't want to dance and point, obviously as someone who works in social, fucking everyone says that, but especially women aged over 40, because I hosted a masterclass the other night as well. And it was on reels and how to sort of make them accessible and easy. And not terrifying to do, the number one complaint is I don't want to dance and point. And that's women of all ages, but especially women over sort of 35, 40, because they don't feel as cool as like the 20-year-old dancing and doing the hair flick transitions and stuff.
Yeah.
Like, I love that she's really nailed the key pain point for her niche, spoken to it, and they really resonated, and that's what's converted them. I love that.
And created something to solve that problem.
Yeah, which is amazing. That's exactly what business is there for. I'm obsessed. I love it.
Yes, the one I'm about to read is similar to Michelle's. This is Catherine from Aussie Biz Chick Community. She said she's a commercial lawyer who has niched very hard. I'm specifically a wedding and event lawyer. There you go. She said niching is scary, but it can be brilliant. It makes marketing so much easier, and you can have authority with a certain industry by being one of the only people within that space. She said as long as it's done correctly, it can be important. So that's that. So similar to Michelle, like she's got her pain points and she's realized it's easier to market and allows her to be the like voice of that area.
Yeah. Actually, following on from this, it's awesome to see that all of our community have really, I don't know, sort of taken niching and like they're using it especially to boost their marketing. So Trish from Grammatical, obviously amazing marketing professional.
Yeah.
She said, yes, niche. I just did a huge brand pivot for a lot of reasons. And part of the brand pivot included niching hugely down because it was extremely difficult to market myself when I was trying to keep everyone happy. I thought I was niche for a long time, but creative small businesses is still so broad as there's so many levels in there.
Yeah.
Trying to create content, value, offers, etc. that served everyone in that bracket was really tough and meant I couldn't get specific in my expertise and show what I could really do.
God damn it. That's so good.
Yeah. And I totally get it because obviously like with Trish, for anyone who doesn't know, Grammatical is like sort of a community that's focused on sort of helping your business along with marketing. And it's an amazing community, but I totally understand that you're sort of trying to appease everyone from service, like because creative small businesses encompasses service-based, product-based, like anyone from like someone making jewelry out of their sort of spare bedroom to like, 6-7 figure, service providers or, massive e-com businesses, like huge, right? And like obviously small businesses has its limits, but there's just such a huge scope. And how do you market the value to someone who is sort of doing this as a side hustle is completely different to someone who's doing this full time. Like they're going to get different things out of the experience. They want different things out of the experience. So therefore it should be tailored. But yeah, I think it's a really good point. And God damn it, it's a really good point.
Yeah, I'm like, we should have just started the episode with that. Like, Jesus.
Yeah. That's all we should have actually covered. 5-minute episode, just reading that out and then agreeing and then intros and outros and we're done.
Yeah.
So I think Trish has really like solidified everything that not necessarily we wanted to say. I think there are still pros and cons to niching and it all does come down to what you want to do in your business. But I think it's a really good place to leave off. Like niching can be so powerful and can help you market your business and be more particular about your marketing and growing your business and all of that. But I do think that if you're not necessarily looking to scale and if you're really happy with how things are going, do you and keep doing it and don't cave to the pressure of everyone saying niche, because who the fuck cares? That's all I got.
I mean, yeah, I agree. Let's end on that.
Right, amazing. That is a wrap, fam. As always, we have loved being in your ears, sharing the highs and lows of business ownership with a good dash of chaos thrown in for good measure today.
If you want to keep the party going, come join us on Instagram and TikTok at Girls Gotta Work Podcast. And don't forget to subscribe wherever you listen to your podcast.
Till next time.
Bye.